Students in exit classes begin WAEC examinations. Nigeria to resume international flights on August 29th. United States agency kicks as Kano court jails 13-year-old boy for 10 years over blasphemy. On entertainment, actress Rose McGowan accuses director of sexual misconduct.
And in sport, Barcelona is set to appoint Ronald Koeman as new manager.
Details of these and more after this break. I am Omoye Ogbede. And senior secondary school 3 students in Edo State joined their counterparts across the country on Monday to commence the 2020 West African Senior School Certificate Examination. When KUFM visited some secondary schools, it was gathered that the students wrote their first subject, mathematics, observing all the COVID-19 protocol of social distancing, use of face masks, use of infrared thermometer in checking their temperature, and hand washing. At Imagwaro Senior Secondary School located in Oredo local government, the students say the period of lockdown has enabled them to prepare adequately.
My name is Omodia Bonpeace. My exam was fine. I was able to write at least what I knew. Most of the questions, I was able to answer most of the questions correctly by God's grace. The lockdown was enough for me to study, so it had no effect on me at all.
My name is Aleli Ehi. Although calling us back to school for our exam, it was shocking to us because we thought school end this year till next year before we resume. But to our surprise, we resumed very early and started the exam so fast. I did write well because most of the things I saw in the question, it was what I was taught in SS2 and SS1, so it was not really that difficult for me. Yes, I did use the period of lockdown to study hard.
While at the Christ-like Secondary School located at the internally displaced persons camp in Orogwa, Ovia Northeast local government area of the state, the students say they are happy to write the examination after 3 months of waiting.
My name is Patient Thomas. We are very happy for the exam, for the way they organized the exam, for the long period of the coronavirus. Many students have prepared very well for the WAEC exam, and we are very happy for the long time. It was not in vain. We not just stay at home for nothing, but we did something for the long period of this coronavirus, and the exam is very better, and we feel happy.
My name is Solomon John. We prepare for these exams because for a long time we are losing that. We're thinking that we will not to write this exam, but through our Pastor Solomon with our dad in this place, he encouraged us and say everybody will read individuals.
The federal government had earlier in August okayed the reopening of schools for graduating students in SS3. And the House of Representatives has alleged that the federal government signed empty repayment loan documents for the development of the Nigerian rail sector even before the terms of the loan were negotiated. The House also alleged that the Minister of Transportation signed a commercial contract worth $33 billion without any clear-cut financial agreement, while most of the contract agreements did not have local content clauses. Chairman House Committee on Treaties, Protocols and Agreements, Honorable Nicholas Osai, disclosed this during the resumed investigative hearing on the review of bilateral loan agreements and commercial contract agreements by ministries, departments and agencies. He said some of the loans collected by the government were signed even before the terms were negotiated. But the Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, said there was no such contract existing in the ministry, as the only contract was the $1.6 billion loan for the Lagos-Ibadan Rail project signed by the Buhari government and the $800 million loan signed by the Jonathan government. The minister also constantly refused to be guided in his response to Osai's questions, maintaining he was asking one question in 3 different ways. He told the committee that the Lagos-Calabar rail line will not be possible because the House is probing the loans which have not been secured. He insisted the project was important to the South-South region, to which Osai replied the issue at hand was not about a region but Nigeria. And the Green Chambers on Monday also began investigative hearing into over $179 million premium allegedly paid by Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation and joint ventures for non-existing assets overseas, as well as the implementation of insurance policies of other ministries, departments and agencies. Chairman, House Committee on Insurance Matters, Honorable Darlington Uwokocha, explained that the exercise was necessitated by the alleged breaches on insurance business by industry practitioners, low retention capacity of dollar-dominated insurance business, and the effect on Nigerian economy, underutilization of capacity of Nigerian insurance policy, amongst others. He said after the pre-forensic meeting, the committee would deploy forensic auditors to all NNPC and NDAs, as well as insurance companies and brokers handling the portfolios. And the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has commenced door-to-door sensitization of communities in flood-prone areas of Delta State. The move was consequent to prediction of flooding by Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET. The NEMA team, led by Dahiru Yusuf, head of operation, NEMA Edo Operation Office, made this known in the riverine Oko Anala in Oshimili South Local Government Area of Delta on Monday. Yusuf said the essence of the sensitization was part of the agency's preparation and efforts to mitigate the impact of flooding on the people, adding that NIMET had predicted Delta was among the states in Nigeria that would most probably suffer flooding this year. And the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Issa Patami, says the upgraded Computer Emergency Response and Readiness Team, CERT, built by the National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, will reduce further attacks and make Nigeria's cyberspace safer. The minister stated this on Monday at the official commissioning of the newly constructed NITDA's complex building, which houses Digital Studio for Virtual Learning, Computer Emergency Response and Readiness Team, the agency's new logo, vision, and mission. Patami said the three projects were strategically built in line with digital economy policy and strategy of President Muhammadu Buhari for a digital Nigeria. And the federal government has announced that the country will resume international flight operations on August 29th. The Minister of Aviation, Hadi Siraka, made the announcement on Monday in Abuja at the briefing of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19. He explained that the process for the resumption of international flights in the country would be similar to that of the domestic flight resumption. According to the minister, the resumption will commence on Saturday next week at the Muritala Muhammad International Airport in Lagos and then Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja, the nation's capital. He assured that the protocols and procedures for resumption would be announced in due course. And KUFM News continues right after this break. Do stay with us. Operatives of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission have arrested 7 military personnel, Lance Corporal Ajayi Kayode, and 26 others for alleged internet fraud in the Lekki axis of Lagos State. A statement by the EFCC spokesman, Dele Oyewale, made available to newsmen in Abuja on Monday, stated that Kayode was arrested in his military attire during an early morning raid on August 15th following the intelligence received from concerned members of the public about his alleged involvement in criminal activities. In his statement, the soldier confessed that the fraudsters in whose company he was arrested were his friends, and they had been teaching him how to make quick money through cybercrime. Items recovered from the suspects include diamond jewelry, exotic cars, and expensive phones. The commission noted that the suspects will be charged to court soon. And the United States Commission on International Religious Freedom, USCIRF, has faulted the judgment of an upper Sharia court in Kano State, sentencing a 13-year-old boy, Umar Farouk, to 10 years in prison for making derogatory statements towards Allah in an argument with a friend. The commission is an independent, bipartisan federal government entity established by the U.S. Congress to monitor, analyze, and report threats to religious freedom abroad. Farouk was convicted on August 10th by Aliyu Kanu, the same judge who sentenced the musician Yahya Sharif Aminu to death for blaspheming Prophet Muhammad. Spokesman for Kano Region Justice Military Baba Jibo Ibrahim said the court handed down the death sentence as enshrined in Islamic laws based on irrefutable evidence and the convict's admission of guilt. The USCIRF has condemned the blasphemy laws in Nigeria. The president of the African Bar Association, Hannibal Uwaifo, described the verdict on Farouk as unconstitutional, calling on the Attorney General of the Federation to stop the Sharia court from making a mockery of Nigeria on the international scene. And the governor of Bayelsa State, Doyediri, says he will appeal Monday's ruling of the State Election Petition Tribunal sitting in Abuja. He said he has instructed his lawyers to file the necessary papers. Diri, who spoke shortly after the tribunal ruled that the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) wrongly excluded the Advanced Nigeria Democratic Party (ANDP) governorship candidate from the November 16, 2019 election, and said he had explicit confidence in the judiciary that he would triumph in the end. The governor urged members of the People's Democratic Party and his supporters not to panic and to continue to remain calm and law-abiding. In a related development, the immediate past governor of Bayelsa State, Governor Saraki Dixon, has urged Bayelsa people not to be perturbed by the judgment of the tribunal, which annulled the state governorship election on Monday. He described the judgment as a temporary setback, which did not in law affect the status quo until appeal processes were exhausted. And the governorship candidate of the Zenith Labour Party in Ondo State, Agbola Ajayi, has picked a running mate for the October 10th, 2020 election. Ajayi, who is the current deputy governor of the state, picked Boye Adegbero as his running mate. Adegbero was the commissioner of works under the administration of former governor Olusegun Mimiko. He hails from Ilaramokin in the federal local government area of the Central Senatorial District in the state. The ZLP candidate had last week officially defected from the People's Democratic Party to ZLP in Akure, the Ondo State capital. The submission of names and candidates for the Ondo governorship election to the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) closed yesterday. And religious leaders from the Christian Association of Nigeria (CAN) met with Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai to discuss ways of finding lasting peace to the troubled southern region of the state. The clergymen were led to the meeting, which was held on Monday at the government house by CAN National President Reverend Samson Ayokunle. Reverend Ayokunle began his speech by admitting that the crisis in southern Kaduna predated the present administration in this state. He called on both the government and security agencies to commence the process of mopping up illegal firearms in the troubled communities. Reverend Ayokunle cautioned all parties involved in the conflict to refrain from making accusations and counter-accusations, but to come together and find a lasting solution to the lingering crisis. Reverend Ayokunle also proposed the prosecution of those behind the crisis, rebuilding the destroyed southern Kaduna and other crisis-affected areas, and the deployment of more security forces to the troubled communities, amongst others. In his response, Governor El-Rufai thanked the CAN national leadership for the visit and assured them that the state government would work with them to broaden the constituency of peace. And coming up in a moment on entertainment news, actress Rose McGowan accuses director of sexual misconduct. This and more on entertainment. Still on to news break on KU 92.7 FM Benin City. In some entertainment stories, Kid Wire has emerged winner of the latest Head of House games in the BB Nigeria 2020 lockdown edition. This comes after beating other housemates to the coveted seat. The newest Head of House topped the dice game that sported a good chess twist this week, with housemates Prince and Bright O following closely. Another twist introduced this week gives the Head of House and the Deputy additional privilege of bringing in one guest each to the Head of House lounge. However, the guests are not permitted to sleep over. For his deputy, Kid Wire selected Tolani Badge as first choice, Nengi as second, and V as third. His choice comes as no surprise considering the fact that his house sweetheart, Erica, had been disqualified from participating in the Head of House games and from being nominated as deputy. Big Brother interestingly shared with the latest Head of House plans to go on vacation. According to Big Brother, Kid Wire must ensure that the house maintains law and order while he is away. Winning the Head of House games ends Kid Wire and his deputy immunity from this week's evictions, as well as exclusive access to the Head of House lounge. Now to the international scene, Rose McGowan has accused the Descendants and Sideways director Alexander Payne of sexual misconduct. The actress shared her alleged experience with Payne in a chain of tweets Sunday and Monday, recounting spending time with the two-time Oscar winner when she was 15 years old. McGowan, who was one of the first women to openly speak about Harvey Weinstein's predatory behavior that eventually led to his eventual trial and conviction on sexual assault charges, said Payne left her on the street corner after their time together. In another tweet in response to her first, the charmed actress posted a photo of herself at age 15 and said she isn't bringing up the incident with intentions to destroy. Instead, she demanded an acknowledgement and apology from the director. Payne and his reps have not responded to requests for comments. On Monday, the actress posted a lengthy statement on Instagram about her accusation, saying, I quote, "I now know I was groomed," end of quote. And rapper MC Light's marriage appeared to have crashed. The singer Nilanan Michelle Mora has filed for divorce from husband John Witch after 3 years of marriage. Light 49 reportedly cited irreconcilable differences as the reason for the split. After meeting on Match.com, she and Witch, a Marine Corps veteran and entrepreneur, were engaged in May 2017. The two married 3 months later in Montego Bay, Jamaica. And that's it from entertainment. And in sports, Serena Williams' bid to finally land a record equaling 24th Grand Slam title may be boosted by the lack of fans at this year's US Open. Listen more on our sports decks.
Good morning and welcome to Sport News. I'm Sanofi Francis. Barcelona have sacked manager Quique Setién 3 days after his side's humiliating 8 defeat by Bayern Munich in the Champions League. The Netherlands manager, Ronald Koeman, who played for the Catalan Giants between 1989 and 1995, is set to replace Setién at the Camp Nou. Former Real Betis manager Setién was appointed in January and took charge for just 25 matches. Barca finished second in La Liga this season, 5 points behind Real Madrid. Barcelona thrashing by the German champions Bayern on Friday was the 4th time in the 5 past years they have been knocked out at the quarterfinal stage of Europe's elite competition. Setién, who replaced Ernesto Valverde at the Nou Camp, had said after the defeat that it was time for the club to review and take decisions which are needed for the future. After he was sacked on Monday, Barca said, This is the first decision, within the wider restructuring of the first team. The club also announced next year's presidential elections scheduled for June will be brought forward to March 15. Barcelona defender Gerard Piqué said he would be the first to leave if the club wished to make changes. Elsewhere, John Obi Mikel admits he is still quite a long way off from full fitness after completing a move to Sky Bet champion club Stoke City. Mikel penned a one-year contract with the Potters on Monday. The midfielder last kicked the ball in March during his time with Turkish Super League outfit Trabzonspor. The former Chelsea star refused to put a time scale on his fight for fitness, but hopes to be in a position to play at least some part for the Potters during the early weeks of the campaign. And finally in sports, Serena Williams' bid to finally land a record equaling 24th Grand Slam title may be boosted by the lack of fans at the US Open, according to former world number 3 Pan Sugar. Williams, 38, has lost her past 4 major finals when aiming to tie the record set by Margaret Court in 1973. She lost the past 2 US Open finals to Naomi Osaka and Bianca Andreescu respectively. Williams, ranked 9th in the world, will be among the favorites to win in the New York when the first Grand Slam since the start of the coronavirus pandemic takes place from August 31st. 6 of the women's top 10 players, including world number 1 Ashley Barty and reigning champion Drizkova, will not play because of safety and travel concerns. American great Williams is looking for her first major title since the birth of her daughter Olympia in 2017, when she said she nearly died because of a series of complications. No player has won more than her 6 US Open titles in the modern era, although edgy performance in the 2018-2019 finals have stopped her moving clear of Chris Evans at Flushing Meadows and levering Australian court all-time tally. And that's it from sports. I'm Sanofi Francis. Back to you, Omoye.
And that's the news, but before we go, a quick recap of the headlines. Students in exit classes begin WAEC examinations. Nigeria to resume international flights on August 29th. United States agency kicks as Kano courts jails 13-year-old boy for 10 years over blasphemy. Do remember that the contingency of Nigeria is a collective responsibility. Be sure to play your part. Coronavirus is real. Wash your hands regularly with soap under running water and use your face masks while in public places. Stay safe. KUFM's news break was produced by Nosahai Uwadiai. I am Omoye Ogbaide saying thanks for listening. Good morning.